Welcome to this webinar. I'm super happy to be here, and thank you very much, Lydia, for inviting me. And today we're going to talk about how to work remotely from Finland, because as Lydia already mentioned, the market is tough, but we will see why it's important if you are in a job search situation right now, why it's important look not only in Finland, but around the world as well. So a few words about who I am. My name is Julia. I'm an immigrant. I have a high education. I have a work experience of 15, 18 years, something like that. And I'm a mom. I live in Espoo, so I believe that basically everyone in this room might fit for this introduction. Back in times, I've been, let's say, demanded specialist and product owner in IT, but nowadays, I believe if I would be in the market, I will face the same difficulties as you are facing now. I moved to Finland in 2019 with my own startup. It was my first startup and the only one, NerdsBay. Here is a link to my LinkedIn and Telegram. Please join. And if you want to talk to me, feel free to do so. And in 2019, when I moved to Finland as a startup, I had quite a lot of business advising from here, from city of Helsinki, from Business Finland, and all these advisors been giving me just one advice, well, many advices, but one of them being the same from one advisor to another. And today I want you to guess what was the advice, and I would like to give this advice to you today. So, as I told that I used to work as product owner, and yesterday I've been checking vacancies in LinkedIn. And how do you think, how many vacancies does Finland have for me as product owner? Just if to put product owner in a job search bar in LinkedIn, how many vacancies it would be. Please be active and send your guesses to the chat because it will make our conversation a little bit more, interactive. 10 to 20, 5, 50, 15, 12, 8. Yeah. So I would say, if it give me to go next. No. 30, around 30, 34. And of course, not all of them will fit me. So, but it's just vacancies with the name product owner in Finland. And if I will apply for them, probably I will apply for 10 or even 5, depending on the requirements. Then I check the vacancies in UK, for example. And there is 304 vacancies, but of course not all of them fits me because I would like to stay in Finland. And then I checked remote vacancies in UK and it's around 40. So it's already makes my funnel 2 times bigger, right? So then I go and check US market. So send your guesses, how many vacancies for product owner US has? 5,000, 10,000, 300, 3K, 4K, over 20, yeah, 1,000. Not that much, not 10,000, but 1,200. And of course, not all of them will be in my, focus after checking, but still, I checked remote vacancies and it's 212 for product owner. And for US market, if you will check this country for work remotely, And of course, it's a big market, and I definitely will recommend you to check it out. I will recommend you to watch this eastern part of US, because in this the time shift would be like possible to leave, so you can still have some joint hours working together with your colleague from east part of US. So yeah, here are some countries which I would like to highlight for remote job search from Finland. It's US, UK, Singapore, Emirates, Denmark, Switzerland, and also other European countries, Germany, France, Sweden, and Canada. It's not in Europe, but also recommended. Why those countries are here? First of all, NerdsBay is the project which I'm working for, is employment of record company, where we have a lot of people who works remotely with us. And I just see countries for which people work, and the US is the number one. And then those countries, they have a little bit higher salary ranges than we have in Finland. So that's how you can keep the salary still, the level that you want to have here in Finland. So for example, if you work for Finnish company, then you need to make some additional payments if you work remotely, and we will see this calculation later on this presentation. So when you go to check vacancies for every of these countries, you need to check out platforms. So for every country, platforms might be different, but thank you, we have ChatGPT and Google, and you can easily know what platforms are on top in this country. So for example, in Emirates and in Singapore and United States, those platforms might be different. And LinkedIn is still number one. Before creating this presentation, I made more than 10 interviews with people who recently get their job, found their job. And LinkedIn, they all of them named this platform as number one. But also people been naming different platforms such as Indeed, We Work Remotely, Remote CEO, and there is a lot of them, and you definitely can use some. And moreover, there is different social media channels which you also might subscribe and check out the vacancies. As you know, in Finland we have quite a lot of hidden vacancies, but it's exists for every market as well. So sometimes recruiters will just make a post somewhere in LinkedIn or make a post in Telegram channels with vacancies because it's free of charge, and for LinkedIn publication, company needs to pay. So Telegram channels, Slack channels, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, so all these instruments you can find how to find it. Here is a easy example. I just put in a Google Telegram channels, job, remote, SMM, social media manager. And I found several channels. And you can just go through them and check out if this is relevant for you, if it's up to date, and subscribe for several of them until you in a job search. And one more interesting solution that people with whom I've been talking, and one of them being recruiter as well, she told that she basically used this Boolean search to make a search for candidate, but why not to use it backward? So Boolean search, it's a search when you make like a request, a special request, which you can see in a search bar here in Google. So you just put site, Cologne, and then the name of ATS. ATS, it's attended tracking system. And in attended tracking system, vacancies start exist at the very beginning. So if company decide to hire somebody, then they create this vacancy in attended tracking system. So this is the place where this vacancy is created for the first time. So, and you can find those vacancies earlier. For different countries, there is different applicant tracking system. For example, in Finland, Team Taylor is very popular, but in general, I would recommend Greenhouse. It's also popular in Finland, or in the US. Lever, Workable, and yeah, just ask ChatGPT to find them. So, and here I would like to also give you an understanding about how funnel works. Funnel, it's the word which I catch when I've been working as a recruiter. So when you would like to find a candidate, you need to have some amount of candidate from the beginning, let's say 10 candidates, and then they come in by the steps of interview, and then you make 1 or 2 offers. And for you as candidates, the funnel works absolutely same. So you have vacancies open, and then you apply, and then you have replies, and then you have first interview, second interview, and then you get an offer. And when I've been talking to these 10 people who get their offers recently, they told that the funnel right now is around 100 application, thoughtfully made application need to be done to get one offer. And if you see that in Finland we have just 30 vacancies for me, then how long should I apply for these vacancies? Maybe 1 year, 2 years to get, 100 application done. And then when you go outside of Finland, you can find these vacancies around the world and apply for them. So this is just the numbers which will work for you. So how to apply? If you find interest in vacancy, so say no for easy apply buttons, which are basically located in LinkedIn. Some companies works with this kind of application, but basically companies not reading them. And say yes to website form. Yes, that's boring and time, request your time to fulfill every time the same form, but you will appear at the ATS. So you will be already in the attended tracking system at this moment. So, and that's make your, travel to the offer already shorter because you're already in the attended tracking system. When you are there, you can send additional email or make a direct message to recruiter to follow up. And Lydia, may I ask you permission to introduce our webinar probably next week or week after that, because we will have a webinar with Anna Sazieva, probably you know her, and she will explain how to find the right people for these direct messages and follow-up emails. So I will have this QR codes at the end of the presentation, so you can subscribe to our WhatsApp group or Telegram channel, and there you can find this invitation for this webinar, how to find this correct people whom you need to contact. That's also important.
I will, Julia, share the registration link in a follow-up email.
Actually, we do not have registration link for this webinar, but I will send you just a calendar event which you can add at the calendar. Okay. So, and this is a first part of presentation, how to search for a job abroad. And now I would like to ask you, what is your feeling now? Is there was something new for you, or it was already everything that you know? And maybe you have some questions, so we can talk about that now.
I have a question. Is it okay?
Yes, sure.
You said you need to, a funnel looks the following: 100 applications, well done, well crafted. What is well crafted?
Well-crafted application. You don't need to change every time your CV or LinkedIn applying for the vacancies. Of course, LinkedIn is just one page which you will share with all vacancies. But please check social media of the company, because nowadays there is so many scam on job search market, and it will, protect you from wrong decisions. So if social media are alive, if there is some, followers, some people who works for this company, then it's a more trusted company for you. And of course, there might be exist startups, but please keep, keep an eye open. And if you send CV, you can even, highlight with a bold keywords which exist in the company's vacancy. And you all know that some, responsibilities might be named by different words. So if companies say that it's product manager, so put your put product manager in your CV, not project manager or product owner, because that's how, system also will range your upper on the list. Yeah, so I would say that it's just properly created. When you read the description of the vacancy and you see that, yes, here I'm relevant, maybe change some words so they will be the same as in a description. So like that.
We can take some questions, right, regarding the first part. Yeah, if you guys have anything you want to ask, please either ask unmuting yourself, but then you will be in the recording, or write in the chat and I can help you with them. Why avoid easy apply? Yulia, why should we avoid
why
easy apply?
avoid easy apply? I know companies who works with this easy apply application, but nowadays the market is, a little bit overheated with the candidates. And if you apply through a web form, then you will fill more fields, and then you will be ranged automatically on a top positions by the system.
If we want to join a union, but the remote work is in another country, is it possible to join a Finnish union then?
You can be a part of Finnish union. It's possible, but you will have less support. For example, in some lawyer questions, because union will not be able to answer you, because you will be working only under your agreement, and that's it. What do you will have? Yeah.
A question. In a nutshell, do you help to get jobs via your company?
NerdsBay is not helping to find a job. I think that Get Hired is a good place to be if you would like to have this kind of support. NerdsBay is the company which helps you work remotely. So we are like a salary provider for you. So you became employed person in Finland. You can have your resident permit as a specialist or as a work permit or blue card when you work with NerdsBay. So you can be part of unemployed funds, or even this, how it's called, tech organizations. So NerdsBay is more like a salary provider, but we also help, to find a job with that kind of webinars, giving you some ideas and but not keeping your hand in hand, as it might happen with Lydia's project.
How to avoid the ghost listings that that are on LinkedIn or Indeed? I think you answered this one, right?
Could you repeat?
There are fake listings. How do we know they are fake?
I would say that the better way is to go and check social media, check domain where it's been created of the company, domain name, if it's just like a newborn 1 week. So you need to be especially, serious for this application.
You mentioned that 100 applications is the funnel. Is it for Finland? Is it bigger? Is it much more for the US?
No, I would say that it's in general because people with whom I've been talking, they've been applying as for Finnish vacancies and for remote work as well. So, but at NerdsBay, we recommend to split your effort 30 to 17. So 30 you put to local market and 70 you put for remote work opportunities, because nowadays Finnish market is so small. So you can easily cover this like 10 vacancies in 1 day and spend the rest of the week to find remote job opportunities. I see many questions regarding employer of record, but I do have this in presentation, so we will cover them later on. So don't want to answer that right now.
Teresa has her hand up. I think we will let her ask, right, before moving forward.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask if you could suggest that, I don't know if later on in the presentation you have this, but if you could suggest as like a protocol or which step we go first to spot that company that we have to contact, sorry, because of course in LinkedIn you put the remote, and sometimes you find I know people who have found the company first and then they kind of shaped their role into a remote role. So do you have any suggestion regarding this?
I think that I will not answer this question right now because it needs to be prepared properly. And the basic suggestion is just to check vacancies in all platforms that exist, and you can choose platforms which fits you better. For example, this platform is created for designers, this platform is more for software developers, and this is for social media. So you choose the platform, you look for a job, and then apply. So very basic steps, but I understand your question, how to, check probably social media, like step-by-step instruction. It's a really good idea, but I don't have it in my hand right now.
Okay, thank you.
Julia, would you like to move forward, or should I read more questions?
Yeah, let's move forward and then answer the questions if they still be open questions, because I think that we can cover a lot of them through the presentation. Okay, and today I have a very good news for you guys. And let me highlight this for you. So you are mostly already in Finland, as we learned from the very beginning of this talk. And Finland is a very good country for living, and that's right. And I absolutely agree with that. You speak English because you hear in my presentation, and then you can work remotely. You have high education, right? I believe so. And you have job experience. I do not see here a lot of students, but experienced people. And this is your advantages up front many candidates already. And you have a great LinkedIn or CV, I believe so, because you came from Lydia Sal community, and I know that how much she put in your heads already. And in Finland, we have so great school of applying to job because you really need to be fabulous to get the job in Finland because market is so small and you already know how to be fabulous when you're applying. So just keep going and just look a little bit wider. So you have a lot of advantages and you need to remember that. And here is a little explanation how you can work remotely from Finland. First question that you need to answer, do you need a resident permit or not? Could you please, if you already have a permanent resident permit, or for example, you here on spouse grounds, or you have a citizenship in Finland, could you send a heart? If you are in a resident permit or you are on work resident permit or studying, please send a fire. So that's how I will see how many of them. Yeah, but I can, oops.
So a heart, if it is a spouse visa or a permanent residence, right?
Yes, and
a fire
if it's if you need to apply for resident permit. So hearts, fire, hearts. That's good. Fire. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Now I see that it's a little bit more with hearts. So I will start with this no answer. So if you need a resident permit, then there is options that exist for you. Light entrepreneur option is good for people who earn less than, who invoice less than 3,000 euro for their clients. Because those light entrepreneur platform basically charge from 3 to 5% for all money that appear in this account. So if it's 3,000, you will pay around 150 euro for the platform only. So if you earn more, then you can consider self-employed option. Here it is. It might be toiminimi or OU. The payment is basically the same. And you need to pay for accounting. It is around 100, let's say 100 euro per month. And you need to pay for annual report. It's around 500 would be for you, 500 euro for annual report. And for both these options, you need to pay 18% of salary as YEL insurance. It's insurance for entrepreneur. So that's cost for entrepreneur that you need to add when you plan your invoicing for the client company. As also, you can also use employer of record. It's a little bit more expensive, but if you earn more, then it might be cheaper. I've seen if you earn more than 10,000 euro per month, then it would be even cheaper than self-employed option. What you need to know here is that this is the only option which let you work remotely and still being employed person. So you became employee, not entrepreneur, right? So this is the only option. And here you can, when you work as an employee, then I have a slide why it's more comfortable and more secure to work as employee. So if you need grounds for resident permit, then I will highly recommend to go as an employer of record option. But also a contract of record of self-employed option might be considered. Then you can apply for resident permit for entrepreneur here, contract of record and a self-employed. What is contract of record is also self-employed option, but NerdsBay can become your client here from Finland. Sometimes Migri asking for clients from Finland, and NerdsBay can become this kind of client. Okay, this is all these options again with the type of resident permit which you can obtain. So for self-employed, you can obtain resident permit for entrepreneur. When you work as a light entrepreneur, you should have other grounds for resident permit, such as permanent resident permit, citizenship, or resident permit on a family ties. For employer of record, it might be 3 different resident permit: blue card, specialist resident permit, and work permit. For blue card and specialist resident permit, you need to invoice more than 5,300 euro per month, and for if you earn less, then it's work type resident permit. The minimum here is around 2,800 euro. And for contract of record, it's also entrepreneurial resident permit. Benefits of working as employer of record, we see self-employment versus. So better social security, your pension security and CALA benefits calculated differently. You work under Finnish labor law, which is very important because when you work as an entrepreneur, so there is no holidays, no sick leaves, maternity leaves. Maternity leaves is okay also for entrepreneurs. And you can also be a part of unemployment funds and get unemployment benefits in case you lose your job. And right of residence, as I already mentioned, it's employment, resident permit, specialist, and blue card that you can obtain very easily. For work permits, it's around from 1 day to 2 weeks to get this resident permit done. For resident permit for entrepreneurs, it might took 2 months, 3 months, or even bigger. And especially when you apply for permanent resident permit. I myself entrepreneur, and I've been waiting for a permanent resident permit around, let's say, 10 months or something like that. And for people who applying for permanent resident permit with a specialist resident permit before, they get this permanent resident permit just in a couple of days. So how to speak about remote work with a recruiter? So let's imagine that you find a company who would like to have your own interview. So what you need to remember. So you need to be flexible, you need to be transparent, and you need to be prepared. So what I mean under flexible, when I've been speaking with those 10 guys, several of them, firstly, they get, when they've been speaking to recruiter said that no, we work only with contractors because, of course, for companies, it's might be slightly cheaper to have a you as a contractor, and it's less, obligations for them, because if you work as a contractor, the work stop, then your relations stop. When you work as employer of record, we still have a Finnish labor law to secure you, and we have 1 month to terminate, and then we have some sick leaves paid and so on. So when you work as a contractor, you don't have that. And you can say that I would like to work as employee of record. Then recruiters say, no, we work only with contractors. You say, okay, and you continue communication with the companies. And 2 of 2 guys, they receive this employer of record at the end. So they start a negotiation with the company about contracting work, but then company loves them so much, so they organized their work through employer of record. Be transparent. For example, if you need to have this resident permit done, then you need to say that now you're here in Finland by work resident permit, and if you became a contractor, you need to change this resident permit type, and it might take quite a lot of time. And you will be not that secured at this moment and so on. So this is also you can mention. And be prepared. What does mean to be prepared here? You need to make calculation of invoice. For example, you decide that you would like to have 5,000 euros per month, and you need to add, when you work as self-employed person, 18% for pension security contribution and payments for accounting. If you work as light entrepreneur, you need to add 18% for pension security contribution as an entrepreneur, and 3 or 5% of the platform. So you need to choose a platform. This is also a very nice option, tax declaration, self-tax declaration to Vero. You can contact Vero and ask them how to make this self-tax declaration. They will give you an instruction, and you can make a calculation as well. But for sure, you will pay 18% as pension contribution. For employer of record, we will have example of calculation today later on, but also you can contact me and I will make a calculation for you specifically, because it might be different options that we can add. For example, we can add an office desk and you can work from office. We can add additional insurance, health insurance for you, and it will also, increase your invoice, but then you will be sure what you will get after employment. So calculate every option for you, and then when you speak to company, you say, if I work as a contractor, then I need this amount. If I work as a employee of record, then we will talk about this kind of invoice. When you work remotely, basically you speak about invoicing, not about salary. So I understand that it might be difficult information if you've never been thinking and checking it before, but you don't need to memorize it. Probably just to remember that there is options as entrepreneur and as employee of record, and as entrepreneur you might work as a light entrepreneur with self-declaration or with the platform, and just entrepreneur with the accounting. So you can book a meeting with me if you have more questions regarding this kind of calculations, and you can add me on LinkedIn and ask your question there, so feel free. And here we have employee of record part, and now I will go deeper with this employee of record finally. So what is employee of record? Basically, it's a 3-party contract agreement. So NerdsBay make agreement with the client company, and NerdsBay hire you in our staff, so you became our employee. NerdsBay send invoice for your company, then pay all necessary funds and contributions, and then pay your salary. You work directly with your client company. So NerdsBay is not somebody who manage you in your work related issues. So you work directly with your company as you just hired to this company. NerdsBay is just a salary provider here in Finland for you. And here is a calculation that I promised. So gross salary is something that we put in contract with you. In our hiring agreement, we put gross salary. Then on top of this gross salary, we need to add employer costs. And let's calculate with this 3,827 euro, because for now, this is a minimum salary, monthly salary for Migri to consider you as a specialist. So if you have a gross salary and you work in Finland and you have a gross salary 3,827 euro, then you need to remember that your employer also pays additional contributions in 920 euro. Every employer in Finland will pay this. And then NerdsBay charge service fee, 550 euros, and it's flat. Employer costs, this is like complicated calculation. Some fees are flat, some fees are percentage, but this is flat. So if you earn more, then our fees still stay like that. And yeah, basically, when you work for Finnish company, they still have something allocated to your service fee because they have accounting, they have operational work, which we charge the service fee for. And the total invoice, this amount would be in our agreement with your client company. So this gross salary in your contract and the total invoice in a contract with your client company. So go further. How to communicate with companies. So let's imagine that you already discussed with the recruiter that you work remotely and you would like to work as employer of record, and then you have an offer. And at this moment, you can say that you can introduce employer of record NerdsBay, which is a local Finnish company. And I will explain later why it's better than global. But for companies, basically, global companies are more, they would like to have just one provider for all countries, but for global companies, it's impossible to have real offices in every country, and they have a lot of contractors here, a lot of consulting companies here, and the communication became very long and the cost became very high at the end. So you can just give this link to your company, nerdsbay.com/EOR, and then just send a connection email for me and for your hiring manager or recruiter who responsible for this recruitment process further, and we will do everything directly. So no need you to be too involved in this process. So why NerdsBay? As I already told us, we are a local company in Finland. We have a headquarter in Finland, and we are local relocation experts. So we have those experts internally. We don't need to make a consulting for that. And that's why the communication is much faster and smoother. And we also have community and informational channels. And we also have local providers of everything, local insurance company. We have an office here where you can come and work with us. We can make a mobile plan for you. So everything is possible to do like in a basic Finnish company for you. So, and a few words about NerdsBay, as we started not from that. We established in 2019 in Helsinki, but for now we have office in Espoo. We have tech communities and channels. We handled 7 online and 3 offline tech job fairs events so far. And we have this employer of record services. And this is our small but effective team of 4 people. Ilya with a stripe is our operational director. He is the person whom you will probably meet if you will work with us. And Angelika, she is working with our social media, and Alex is our IT back office. So that's it, I believe. And we have Q&A. And as I promised, here is our LinkedIn and WhatsApp, which you can subscribe on our WhatsApp to have information about upcoming webinars and different events. So yeah, I'm done with this presentation. If you have any question, please use the chat.
May I ask one question?
Yes, sure.
Okay, I joined a little late. Maybe I might have missed something, but one question is this service from your side is applicable for someone who is not in Finland?
Yes, it's also applicable for someone who is not in Finland. So we have many cases, for example, people live in Serbia and then they work remotely for any company, let's say Cyprus. And then they decided to move to Finland, and we can help with this relocation process, and we can help to work legally from Finland.
Okay, and one last question, I will not take much time. I am already working for a remote company which has offices globally, but not in Finland. So it's a little bit unfortunate. So is it possible to move to Finland with help of your site solution?
Yes, sure. Yes, definitely. It's absolutely our case.
As you mentioned that I need to pass your that contact to my existing company, and then they can start the process if I'm correct, right? Before this.
You can discuss firstly with your company if it's possible for them, because for us it's absolutely possible. So then you can ask your company if it's possible for them to work with employer of record program from Finland, employer of record services from Finland. And if yes, then you send introduction email to us, and then we can handle all the process. And you can, contact me before, so I can help you to make a calculation for them. So how much you will get a gross salary at the end.
Understood. So, okay. And how to contact you?
I had, you can book a meeting with me. Here is a book.
Okay. I missed it. Let me scan it. I'll take a photo. I'll take a photo so that whenever.
Or you can send me a message in LinkedIn, and then we can.
I'll do.
Yeah. So.
Thank you so much. Thanks all.
Okay. So now I will get back to this Q&A slide and check the questions in the chat. If I understand your option, what this would mean is with employer, I am still a contractor, not an employee of that company. Let me explain. You became employee for NerdsBay. So you became employed person for NerdsBay. And NerdsBay have a contract with your client company. So for this client company, you work as an EOR. And for them, they know, and they have also these details in their agreement that they need to support our Finnish labor law. They need to provide holidays by law and sick leaves by law. Yeah, so I hope I answered your question. What would be the best remote work option for resident permit student? If you have a student resident permit and you here already, then you need to check out how many hours you can work when you are a student, because you're firstly, you are a student and you need to be a student firstly, and then you can work for the rest of hours. And then you can work in any of these options. But yeah, so any of these options might fit you because you have already student resident permit. And but when your education finished, then it would be better to have, for example, employer of record option, or to find a work in Finland. So that will make it easier for you to apply for next resident permit. Most companies want you to be in that particular country for remote roles. How do you advise we go around this? We just don't choose these companies. Yes, I know that, for example, there's company in Spain, which you can work remotely, but from Spain. That's also one option for this company. We are not trying to contact them. We concentrate on another companies. How does this service work with someone who has permanent resident permit in Finland on family ground? You mean how does employer of record works? You just became employed person for NerdsBay and work with us as employed person. So it might be like that as well. You don't need it because you already have a resident permit, but it's more comfortable option. So for those who struggling with resident permit, and especially with this 3 months rule, do you know that since 11 of June, I need to also highlight this, since 11 of June, the rule of 3 to 6 months to find a job, and then you will be deported from country. It will be in force, and I would say that NerdsBay here would be on your side, because before layoff, every employer can send you to unpaid holiday, and you will be still considered as employed person. And this unpaid holiday might be 3 months as maximum. So then if NerdsBay give you this additional 3 months, for you the job search would be from 6 to 9 months, which is much better than 3 and 6. Yeah, this rule is not applicable for permanent resident permit holders. It's only for the temporary resident permit, which is A permit, for example, specialist resident permit, blue card. For blue card, basically, this rule been already exist for the long time, and worker permit. It is my knowledge that permanent resident permits supersedes all other, meaning if you start studying, you don't have to go to study permit. Yes. A permanent resident permit is something that you obtain, and then you can relax and do whatever you want, studying, working remotely in any option, working in Finland, and so on. So it's much easier for you. Okay. I now get back to questions which been appeared earlier. How long will I wait to send direct message to recruiter after applying via email or or company link, you can do it right away. Like you send it and send a message like, hello, I applied for this vacancy. Could you please check if you received that? I have a question like this. And if you haven't got an email, then you can send additional email after 1 week and saying, hey, 1 week ago, I've applied for this job and I send additional message, but seems my message might be lost in your email box. Could you please check my application if the vacancy is still open or not? Maybe we can have a call with you. So yeah, be proactive in this point, but not too much. Probably once a week. It's a good timing. Can you tell us about the tax process when we find a job in other European countries or US while living in Finland? What kind of process is this? Thank you for this question, and let's see how it looks like. So you became hired in Finnish company, so you don't need to think about this taxation because NerdsBay invoice company, and there is no VAT arising here, so VAT tax, I mean. So we just receive payment and you work under Finnish law with a Finnish tax, so your personal tax from the gross salary that you have. What about the tax issue? There are different tax agreements Finland has with various countries, but in the case of remote work, what is general rule? Assuming that there is a general rule, so general rule, you don't need to think about this tax issue. It's, a rise when, for example, you came to Finland from another country, for example, me. I came to Finland from Russia and I have some income in Russia. Then, for example, I sold my flat there. Then I paid my taxes in Russia and then the rest and for example, in Russia, it's 15% and in Finland, it's 30%. So I paid 15% in Russia and then the rest 15% I paid here in Finland. So that's how it works. But if you live in Finland, you earn your money in Finland, you don't need to care about additional tax issues. You just work with a Finnish employer and that's it. Even if you work as a contractor or self-employed person, you work in Finland, you earn this money in Finland, you work with Finnish taxation. That's it. If someone is already working remotely and want to relocate to Finland, how will you help? Yes, this is definitely our case and probably we've been talking to you about that already. So yeah, we can help and please contact me. We will make an agreement and with you hiring agreement, and with this hiring agreement, you can relocate to Finland. And the relocation process is quite smooth and fast nowadays. If not being employed via NerdsBay, is there an other option of being the entrepreneur? Are your companies hiring like that? I'm not sure I understand this question. Of course, EU companies may hire you as a contractor, which is entrepreneur option. Yes, you can work like that for sure.
Julia, can I ask, because it's around the same question?
Yes, sure.
It's a very dumb question. So I live in Finland. I have I don't know, some type of a visa here.
Which kind of visa?
Let's say A type of a visa.
Okay.
And I found a job in Germany remotely. And let's imagine I do not want to become an entrepreneur and I do not want to join you as an employee. Is there any legal way for me to work for Germany?
Oh, depends on which type of A visa you have. So if you have a work-related A visa, specialist work or blue card, then you need to work as employer of record to keep this visa. If you start working with this company as a contractor, then you need to change your visa for entrepreneur visa. If you have, let's say, A-type visa by family ties, then you can work directly with this company and make self-tax declaration directly to Vero office. You need to contact Vero, explain the situation, show them the contract, and then they will explain you how to make the self-tax declaration. Did I answer all the questions?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Thank you. I don't totally understand. Let's say you get a remote job outside of Finland. Do you know? Register with NerdsBay as a contractor and you are able to keep your work visa. You are registered with NerdsBay not as a contractor, but as an employee, and you can keep your work visa. Next question. For example, IT remote role in Poland, but you are in Finland. Yes, that's possible. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Most companies want you to be in particular country. Yes, not most, but many, but not all. A lot of remote job for me in the UK, but nearly all of them expect the candidates to be the country's resident. I'm thinking of freelancing via the freelance platform. Also, part of the solution if you don't need a resident permit. What would be the best option for resident permits to student? This I'm already answered. What about social and health insurance YEL covers it if you are an entrepreneur, so same 18%. Yeah, if you work as an employed person with us, with NerdsBay, then of course we also cover it for employee, all the necessary payments. VAT is 0 if outside of Finland as a freelancer. Yes, right. It is the same 0% for UK, for the US, countries outside of Europe. Yes, it's 0. And you need to complete VAT declaration.